Hello. Have you ever found that it's hard to keep track of the finished beer you have ready to sell? And it's been causing you some issues where maybe sometimes you run out of a beer that has high demand, or other times you brew a little bit too much of it and you have too much inventory, and it's a struggle to sell it while it's still fresh. What I'm going to do is show you a Tableau dashboard that would take all of your raw inventory information out of your ERP. And it's going to bring it into Tableau and present a dashboard for, in this case, your finished beer. We just looked at one that would have showed all your inventory. This one's really now focused on your finished beer. We're going to see how your inventory has trended for each of your different beers. We'll see what the total balances are today. And then we'll also look at overall keg and can inventory and see how that's trended over time. Okay, so here's our Tableau dashboard that's showing finished beer inventory. First of all, in the upper left, we're going to see some kind of high-level statistics. So this is showing in total we have 44 SKUs or finished beer items on hand for about $26,000. A total quantity of 754 units. That can be a little hard to understand because some of them are canned and some are kegs. So we're going to break it down also into gallons. So we have about 4,000 gallons of beer currently in inventory. Okay, and you probably already noticed, but we are breaking this down into canned inventory and kegged. And keep in mind these different colors because you'll see them in the rest of the dashboard. We're showing cans in kind of this yellow gold color and then kegs in this silver gray color. So now we can see how our inventory breaks down between each of those. Next up, we're going to look at how the total dollars of inventory has trended over time. So right now we were kind of in this period. And then we can look back a full year and see when it's been high or been low. A few things maybe stand out here is today we saw we're about $26,000. Let's look back at this period of time. So last May, we really spiked up. You'll notice as I hovered over that period of time, it's going to show us how our inventory broke down at any point in history. So I'll just kind of scroll through a few of these. But you can see where we were last May when we spiked up to our highest point. And a lot of that was driven by canned inventory. We almost had double what we have today. Another thing maybe to mention is on here that stands out is our kegged inventory back in the middle of July was very low. We didn't have much inventory at all. So that was probably a time when we were a little bit concerned, but we were able to brew our way out of that pretty good to get us back up to our normal level. And again, right now we're sitting relatively full with inventory for both kegs and cans compared to our averages. All right, so now let's say you wanted to really get into each individual beer. So what do you have sitting on the shelf ready to sell today? So we're going to walk through be able to show each different beer. We have what we consider the flagships. So these are the beers you're most well known for, you always want to have on hand and available to sell. So we're splitting those out first. And then we're kind of grouping all of our different seasonal type beers, which might have a rotating label, into the beer category and then considering it seasonal. And now we can look at cans and kegs again. So as we're walking through this, let's just look at a few. So one is we brew this fruit beer. Right now it's showing we barely have anything available when it comes to kegs. And that's kind of a funny dollar amount for a keg. So this might be an item that's not classified correctly, but basically showing we don't have any keg inventory. On the other side of things, when it comes to West Coast IPA, we don't have any cans. So this would be something where it's good to check if these are the flagships that we always want to have on hand. We have low inventory. Let's make sure we're currently brewing or ready to package some of these beers. Another thing we can use this for is as we're scrolling down to some of our seasonal ones that might generally have a little bit lower demand, is make sure we're not brewing too much of it. Where by the time we end up selling it all, it's not going to be very fresh. So maybe one concern there would be this seasonal dark beer, where right now it's the majority of our kegged inventory. That might be quite a bit, and we need to make sure we're turning that kegged inventory pretty quick so it doesn't become stale by the time we sell it. You'll see we have, you could just kind of walk through what the inventory position is on all these other beers. Okay, and then last up, we're going to look at how each of these has trended over time with inventory. So like everything else, the cans are in yellow and the kegs are in gray. So you can see how again, how things have trended over time. And pick out things that maybe stand out as an outlier. So for example, let's look at this dark beer seasonal. So usually we don't have very much in a keg, and we just saw that we've kind of spiked up to $2,000 of it. So again, that's something we'll just want to keep an eye on and make sure we're going to be able to turn that beer before it becomes stale, and probably don't want to brew any more of it for a little while. So just a way that you can, again, keep an eye on the trends of the different beers that you're brewing. Cool. So that was our dashboard. Just to summarize what was going on there is we took almost a year and a half of inventory information out of our ERP at the lowest level. And we brought it into Tableau, and the power of Tableau is going to show us all that data at both a summary and then at that low item level. So we're really easily able to understand what's going on with our finished beer inventory and make good decisions on what we're going to do next. We were able to look at it by category, by kegs versus cans, and also individual beer. And then again, we could see what the trends were. So if you have any questions on this, or more importantly, if you'd like to see your information in a dashboard like this that would be updated on a regular basis, please contact me. My email is jeremy@centralcoast-analytics.com. And that email is jeremy@centralcoast-analytics.com. Thanks for your time. Have a great day.